It may be negative 18 degrees outside, but it is good to be back.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Yes. Hello, everybody. It is good to be back. I am your humble host. And it seems like it has been forever since I've done the show, and it kind of has. So I was looking at the show notes, and I was trying to figure out when the last show number was. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was November of last year. And what made me feel even worse was the fact that I sent a post out in December saying I'd be back the first week in January, which obviously did not happen. But I do feel bad about that. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who has called, emailed, texted, and basically felt like or was concerned for my well-being and just say, hey, where'd you go? And I just feel really bad about that. But your concern, your care really, truly made me feel humbled and appreciated. And I just want to say thank you to so many out there who genuinely were concerned about if something had happened. And the reality is that back in November, we had a server update, and there were some issues with some software. Long and short of it was, as of last Friday, the migration of 3 other software systems finally completed. But it was just a long process, and so mainly each one of my days has started around 3:30 and then ended about 4:15, 4:30. Which didn't give me a whole lot of time to spend on extracurricular type activities such as this show. But regardless, it was not, I just had to put it on the back burner and not worry about it, not think about it. And I apologize. This is probably the longest gap of time I've taken away from the program. I think there was a year I took a month in the summer, which was much needed. But one of the goals that I had when I first started this program was making sure it was consistently produced each and every week, because that's, in my opinion, how you build a great family, a great, following. And you are my elevator family. And nothing says that more than so many of you who had contacted me concerned about my well-being. And just long and short of it is that just work's crazy busy. Time that I had to do the show was used to catch up during times when I had to catch up. So that's basically it. I'm back, which is great. My computer's been reformatted to produce the show. Everything's working well. No computer demons. I should knock on wood. But all in all, everything is good. I hope you all are doing well out there. You had a great holiday season. And first and foremost, or second most, make sure that you're working safe out there. It is cold outside. Got up this morning. It was negative 19 degrees. And my family and I had gone up to Wisconsin, the north woods of Wisconsin. And Sunday morning before we left, we were there just from Friday to Sunday. It was negative 25. So in my opinion, it's not so bad outside. And I like to tell people that when I was a kid, they didn't cancel school for anything. I don't remember them canceling it. I mean, I don't remember them canceling it. I'm sure they did, but the reality is that I don't know if we were just tougher back then or what the deal was. But there was no canceling school in my day. Whereas today they've canceled tomorrow in Chicago, A lot of offices are closed. Had somebody at work asking me yesterday, "Are we going to be open tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not? We got heat, right?" I mean, I don't get it. But anyway, it is cold. Be careful out there. Dress up, cover your extremities, and make sure you don't have to stay outside as much as you do. And realize this to our Canadian friends to the north: you live with this until like June, right? It's cold up there. You're probably laughing at us, going, "Yeah, this is how we live, right?" I don't mean to say that, share that accent with you, but that's kind of a North Woods, Wisconsin types of accident. The Yoopers is what they call them in terms of like the upper Michigan and stuff like that. So anyway, it's good to be back. I'm looking forward to 2019. I truly hope that this is a safer year when it comes to accidents, fatalities involving those that work on the equipment out here. And let's all do our part. Set that New Year's resolution, even though we're almost through January, to minimize as many accidents and injuries and fatalities as we can as we merge through the 2019 year. All right, so that's basically it. And as always, if you want to send me an email, feel free to do so. I'm not too good at getting back to those, unfortunately. So it's just there's a lot. I get a lot of emails at work, get a lot of them during on the show, and the reality is that the show takes second fiddle when it comes to work and family. As it should. So even though you are my work family, I do my best to try to stay up on it, but just know that if you don't hear back from me in a week or 2 weeks, it's probably just because I haven't seen your email. And don't take offense to that. It's just hard to keep up with everything in today's Amazon Prime shipping today, I need it tomorrow world that we all live in today. Thank God for that, right? Anyway, so we're going to get into the news, and hopefully all the audio levels are good. I've been trying to play around with that, and just to end my my rant right now, the show and how I've been producing it since 2005 has been really streamlined. It's been very efficient. It's been, I spend time gathering content online, produce a show, and basically after I hit save, it gets uploaded. There's no editing, there's no volume control, there's no nothing. And it gives me enough time to do the show, get it up online, and then get right into work, which is the reason why I'm doing it so early. I don't have time to mess around with a show during my workday. There's just not enough time. So when that routine got messed up with my computer going down in November or October, it was awful. It was really, truly awful. I spent so much time and effort trying to find a solution to what I was used to using, and it just did not materialize. So I was so happy when we were able to get this program reformatted. I mean, this computer. So always looking for ways to make life easier. And this year we're gonna see if we can't get some other people to fill in on the show, which will be great. Take some of the burden off, and also change some of the formatting. I think the news and what we all collect today is fine. I mean, a lot of the content you see is all stuff you can find on Google, whatnot. But there's other stuff I think we need to address, and I think we can do that as an entity and as a industry, just kind of shooting the beep, you know what I mean, and just going over how we think things can be improved. And I'd like to bring some of that to the program if I can figure out the other element of having the audio from outside sources, like pulled in an easier format. I think we can get there with that. So I'm looking forward to that. So we'll see if we can't give you some different kind of programming in the future. So without further ado, we'll get into the news next and have you out of here, as I usually say, in no time. We do have a prize pack giveaway. $100 Visa gift card is going to be sent out to one of you lucky listeners who have signed up for the e-newsletter. So if you have signed up for that, it's awesome, and you could be eligible to win. And I'll announce that at the end of the show. So up next, we'll get into the news.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
All right, and the first news article, actually, you probably all heard about this. This actually made pretty much national news. Woman trapped in an elevator for 3 days. This may be the new record. I know that other guy that was trapped in the elevator for 40 hours, or was it? No, 40 hours. No, this is not the new record. Forget that. But anyway, it was a house cleaner, not a house cleaner, a housekeeper maybe. Here, let me see if this thing loads up here. I did have it all set up here. Come on. Oh, there we go. It's coming from the Gothamist, but it was covered pretty much everywhere. Stupid article titled, "Woman trapped in an Upper East Side townhouse elevator for 3 days doesn't plan to sue billionaire boss." I mean, come on. Anyway, the reality here is if you read this article, this was one of the workers of the family. She said she had entered the elevator and then it stopped between floors. I didn't realize this was a rule or law in New York, which I was like, oh, interesting. But if you scroll down, it says Department of Building Inspector Devin Simons told the Times he did not know whether the elevator had a phone or emergency button in it. Buildings that aren't continuously monitored by guards or doormen are required to have buttons or phones in their elevators. Department of Buildings has now issued a violation to Stevens for this weekend's incident, which I'm assuming didn't have a phone that worked. Reality is if you've got a residential elevator, make sure you have a phone in it, one preferably that you can actually use to dial out with a keypad. Okay, that's the bottom line I can only offer you, because can you imagine being in a remote location and the elevator stops and you've got some auto dialing phone that'll dial 3 numbers and that's it? I mean, I'm pretty sure your cell phone's probably not going to work, which didn't in this case. But yeah, no, it's just make sure you have a phone that works and you can dial out. That's the bottom line. But this article made national news. It was actually, I heard it on the way into the work on Monday. Okay, elevator safety in New York. This is probably the link and show which something I've been talking about for a very long time regarding elevators in New York City. I'm not by any means an expert on this, so please nobody call me asking for an interview. I'm not the person to talk to, but the reality is that this is a blog post talking about an investigation regarding elevator mechanics and the fact that they are not required to be licensed in the state of New York, although if you need to change a light bulb or do electrical work, you do have to be licensed. Reality is it's a good article kind of touching on some points that are of concern, and hopefully things do change in how elevators are maintained there and the requirements for those who work on this type of equipment. Like any big city, you're going to have issues in how things are managed, obviously, but the reality is that there's some definite issues that are unresolved. I hope this article definitely does some help in bringing it to light, as well as changing the way things are done there. And again, I'm not by any means an expert. This is just my own opinion, which you can just throw in the garbage if you like, or go tell me that I'm full of, beep. So, but good article, good, well written in terms of, and take the facts that are listed in here. As you would like, in terms of that. But yeah, no, I think New York City, as great of a city as it is, needs to make some improvements in how they're doing things regarding vertical conveyance devices in that city. Okay, here's a good article concerning elevators and the cold, regardless of it being from 2015. It's information that does not go old. And Cali Elevator's got some other good points and good blog posts in here that are worthy of reading. But there are a lot of machine rooms, and we run into this in Chicago, that are on top of the roof in their own separate enclosures, little enclosed houses and whatnot. And what we found is that, the brakes that are in hydraulic fluid will react very differently. Obviously, maybe not even working, as well as issues with brakes and cables. So there are issues with elevator equipment, one as any mechanical piece of equipment or your car, that you really have to deal with and be aware of, because the equipment is just going to run through anything. And when you've got a negative 19 or 18 or 16 degree day, it's just going to wreak havoc on it. Not that, machine rooms are supposed to be climate controlled, but the older buildings that are grandfathered into these are not, obviously. And so, but good information on this, and it's good to share this kind of information with customers whose equipment you maintain. So just some good stuff there to share, and it's just stuff you don't really realize, or unless you're a mechanic, you probably already know about it. Okay, elevator woes impact residents and first responders. The reality is that any type of building where it houses people, living, apartments, condos, whatever, impacts first responders. Bottom line. Yeah, I mean, if you can imagine being a firefighter or a emergency paramedic trying to help somebody who needs assistance and getting them out of the building quickly. You can't do that without an elevator, obviously. And regardless of why the elevators are down, a lot of the times the reasons are because, building owners or entities don't have the funding to maintain them properly or don't pay their contractors, et cetera, et cetera. So just stuff to keep in mind. But yeah, it's just an important point to realize the importance of what we do. Okay, there's an employee injured in a hospital elevator last week. It's kind of scary. There's other articles that link up to this. And I can't believe, I feel like, I know I've been away for this for a long time, but I can't believe the number of websites out there that just push just ads and just stupid stuff. I mean, I don't know how they figure they're making money, but they are. It's just every page is loaded with these videos, stupid news snippets that don't have anything to do with it. Anyway, if you do a search for this, you'll find other articles that link to the CEO making a statement. I'll let everybody read that on their own, but do a post or link on that or a search on your. Okay, next news article: tragic death on subway stairs highlights need for more elevators. Elevators are definitely required and needed desperately in older transit systems like New York subway system. And the reality is they're just tough to maintain and tough to install retroactively. But the reality is that elevators are needed. That's the bottom line. They're needed for those that need increased access to underground stations, elevated platforms, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just a tough catch-22 kind of situation. Okay, next news article: man rescued from elevator in Peoria. The 70-year-old man was apparently stalled in an elevator between the floors of 11th and 12th floor. And this is news in, not he was okay, but this is news in, small town USA. I don't mean Peoria is really small. For those of you out there in Peoria, sorry. I don't mean it like in a bad way. Just, yeah. Next news article: judge gives building owner time to make repairs. You don't see this too often, but judge gives Pershing Square high-rise owner time to make elevator repairs. And apparently, judge on Wednesday gave owner of Pershing Square Apartments in downtown Greensburg until July to repair or replace two unreliable elevators that have left several elderly residents trapped. Why is it taking so long? District Magistrate Chris Flanagan asked Greensburg attorney Matt Schmizzy at the brief hearing. And the reality is that it's a fairly substantial upgrade, knowing the project's going to cost an estimated $280,000. So, so, you know what? You gotta, we gotta do our best to educate building owners to put money aside to, modernize, maintain elevators. That's an important thing to do if you're able to get that that notion across. Definitely good. Okay, next news article: escalator death and being charged with negligence in India. This is an article from the newsminute.com. Toddler who fell off escalator in Bengaluru Metro dies, negligence case filed. So basically, this is an article where a mom was carrying or holding her baby, and she lost her grip tragically, and the baby fell over the side of an escalator and died. Apparently, there was a charges filed against the metro station, noting that there's negligence on their part to prevent any kind of thing like that from happening. So, I think we're going to see a day when escalators are completely enclosed with an acrylic or something. I mean, I just see that happening. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, but or put netting around it, and then you got a whole another issue. What if she just dropped the baby and it fell down the stairs? There's still no negligence then, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a different country, so they do things differently, but it's still tragic. City offers to help pay for broken elevator. The Effingham Daily News in Illinois. Apparently in Effingham, they had a broken elevator at Effingham City, and the county offered to help fix it. And they talk about the contractor and all that good stuff in the link. Again, that's definitely small town USA stuff, but nice to see elevators making the news in a positive way to some degree. London agency redesigns elevators. Kind of cool to see the creative side of branding elevators and how they're doing it in London, although some of the stuff is definitely wouldn't be code compliant. You can't put a sofa in an elevator, obviously, or a boombox and let it ride all day long. But still kind of cool to see the creativeness working when it comes to this kind of cool stuff. So I thought that was pretty neat. Let's see here. Bear with me. I just trying to get back to my link. I should have just taken this photo out. Next news article, next CEA meeting, Chicago Elevator Association meeting is next Thursday. SmartRise will be coming in to present at that, and they will be lucky to know it's not going to be, I don't think, as cold as it would be tomorrow. So, although I bet they might want to experience negative 19 degrees or whatever, temperature deals coming from California. I don't know. Next article, big settlement and accident. I didn't really want to put any more details in this other than just I didn't want blog search engines to find it and all that crap, So this comes from the Legal Intelligencer website. This is the accident that happened in Philadelphia at a court building where a sheriff's deputy was partially paralyzed after, I believe, an elevator fell. I'm not 100% sure about the details entirely, but he was He was awarded $20.5 million from numerous companies / insurance companies who basically settled up regarding the accident. What my goal would be is to make sure that something like this doesn't happen in the future and things are learned so that, it doesn't happen in the future. Okay, news from the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation. The board has hired a new executive director. Shelley Johnson has started that position as of the 7th of January, and we welcome Shelley to our industry. Pretty cool. So she will be heading the EESF, helping it in the direction it's heading in a positive way. And we look forward to meeting her. Her email's in the link there. If you would like to share or say hi, go ahead and do so. And then the AGM, the annual general meeting, is coming up end of February. So just so you know, I'll have a post on that probably next week. And the last news article of the show, if you're looking for QEI or Elevator Code Associate Training programs, please visit NASA International for those educational opportunities. Nobody does education like NASA International, I got to tell you right now. But if you are freezing cold, you're looking for a warm place to go, they do have some opportunities to get away in March for education. Also coming to, Des Plaines, Illinois in March 8th and 9th. So looking forward to seeing them there. And if you're looking for a warm location, you need your QEI credits. Definitely check out their calendar of events there. So, that should do it, guys and gals. This is show 519, and it's January 30th, 2019, and then we're going to do the prize pack giveaway now. Enter the fun stuff of the high and low number, 3549. Okay, and the winning number, 1,892. Let me cross-reference that. Can barely see. All right. Okay, and the winner is Jack. Jack from the wonderful city of Texas. You are the winner of the prize pack giveaway. You are a mechanic. It shows in your checkbox here. Thank you for listening to the program. I will be sending you an email shortly confirming your address so I can send you your $100 Visa gift card, as well as a box filled with goodies that have been donated by the companies listed in the show notes at elevatorradioshow.com. It is good to be back. Again, thank you so much for thinking about me during my absence. I greatly appreciate it. It moves me humbly. You are my elevator family, and I will be here for you as long as I possibly can be, as long as I'm not pushing up Daisy. So be safe and be warm. Keep an eye out for elders. Just be safe. It's can be a dangerous place out there, obviously, and especially when it's this cold. And just be safe. All right. We'll talk to you next Wednesday. Take care. Bye-bye.